Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to point you to Exhibit 8, which will be brought on the screen very shortly. Six former Mississippi law enforcement officers committed some of the most heinous acts that I've seen in ages. But the part that is not being said here is that this has been going on a lot longer than we know. Come take a walk with me. We're going to embark on this together, and hopefully we can get something out of this other than brutality, racism, and unnecessary hatred. Tap in.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers.
Disturbing. Six former law enforcement officials are being sentenced in this federal courthouse behind me here in Jackson, Mississippi, for their role in what is being described as racist torture. These men were part of a group unofficially known as the GOON SQUAD because of their willingness to use excessive force. Their names are Hunter Elwood, Brett McAlpin, Christian Dedman, Jeffrey Middleton, Daniel Updike, and Joshua Hartfield. Back in January of 2023, they abused two victims, Michael Corey Jenkins and Eddie Terrell Parker. They got a phone call at the Rankin County Sheriff's Department claiming that two black men were in the home of a white woman. This so-called goon squad got together, forcibly entered that home, handcuffed the two men, and then started to abuse them. They poured milk, alcohol, chocolate syrup all over them while cuffed. They then told them to strip naked, shower everything off, while they were also being tased some 17 times and being thrown racial insults. At one point, there was also a mock execution where one of the officers put a gun in one of the victim's mouth and pulled the trigger. There was some type of malfunction, and that victim is now left with lifelong injuries. To make matters worse, they all conspired with each other to cover up that crime. They planted drugs on the two men, and those charges stuck for months. That was before the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division stepped in to crack the case. Each of these men has already pleaded guilty to conspiracy against rights, obstructions of justice, deprivation of rights under color of law, discharge of a firearm under a crime of violence, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. And that's why they're all being sentenced, some of them receiving 20 years in prison. During one of the hearings in this courthouse, one of the men accused, Hunter Elwood, said he accepted his responsibility and he apologized to the victims. One of the victims then responded, Eddie Parker, and said, "I forgive you."
Ladies and gentlemen, does it ever cease to amaze you? I just did a show on false allegations. I just did a show on accountability. And here we are, a story that happened, what, a couple years back. These guys decided that they were going to brutally assault and humiliate two black men off of the strength of you're black, this woman is white. We don't have enough proof or enough evidence to even confront these two gentlemen for the crimes that are alleged to be committed to them. Let's go ahead and go and do whatever we can to embarrass them and shame them as much as possible in the name of ignorance, because that's exactly what that was. Now, I want to bring this up to the screen real quick, right? Because I think that it's important that we get full context on this story. Um, you see, my thing with these situations is like, how do these cops end up getting jobs? In what world do we look at these profiles and think, oh, this is going to be a superior officer? They're going to do everything upright and they're going to serve us and they're going to die for us and they're going to make sure that we're all safe and protected. Yet instead we get this. Interesting. Let's bring this up to the screen, shall we? Now, I want to scroll and take a look at this. Let me see if I can enlarge this screen. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. My apologies. It was basically give you a rundown on what had already happened. They all were charged and all sentenced, all pled guilty, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't believe that those sentences were just at all. I don't think they served enough time or they're serving enough time. A couple things that I want to point out here. One, until we can get past this skin complexion thing, this is always going to be a problem. There needs to be a better process at how we hire people to do certain jobs, especially in the law enforcement. This shit has been going on way too long, way too long. It's like, well, damn, what are y'all doing about it? Because it don't seem like y'all doing anything. Now, one man, he's damaged for life. He's never going to be the same again. You telling me this officer puts a gun in his mouth? He's prepared to unalive him. The gun jams. He's spared, but he's not spared because now look. This is why people don't fuck with cops. And I think that the anger, the pride, the ego that gets in the way when we are in a position of power is another adage to why we see results like this, where people abuse the system and they abuse the positions that they have. We need to do better. Much better. This is unacceptable. Nobody should be happy with this. And I'm surprised not many people were even talking about it at all. I found this on TikTok just like 20, 30 minutes ago. And I'm like, damn, nobody's really covering this. My thoughts and prayers go out to them, their families, anyone that is involved. Like this is this is the type of thing that got Rodney Henson in the situation he's in. We do bad to somebody, and then somebody does bad to us, and then it's like it just continues to go on and on and on. Nobody stops it. Nobody really resolves the problem. The system is the problem. The people that we put in the system is the problem.